Super Thermo in here today. We're talking about the new battery technology we've got coming from DEWALT. The first mainstream power tool manufacturer to use this technology, and it's the new Powerstack cells in the batteries. So when we look at batteries traditionally, they're made up in here. This is a 2 amp battery, and this is made up of 5 cylindrical batteries.
Yeah.
And the cylindrical batteries are 3.6 volts each. 5 times 3.6 gives you 18 volt. Very, very simple. What happens is, if you imagine a cylindrical battery, if you imagine a very, very thin piece of paper and you've rolled it really tight, that's how you make a battery.
Much like a AA battery, that sort of thing, is it?
Pretty much like an AA battery. So in order to charge it, it charges through these terminals here, and in charging it's got to go in and it's got to whiz around inside to charge it all up, and then it's got to charge each individual cell. And the problem with that is when you're charging these batteries over a period of time, you get heat build up. And when you're discharging, you get heat build up. And over a period of 3 or 4 years of charging and discharging, the battery can degrade, the cells can degrade a little bit. So if you take a 4 amp battery, after 3 years or so, it could be as little, or it could degrade as much as 3 amps. So it could degrade by 25%. So with this new technology, these degrade by as little as 2%.
That's massive, isn't it?
It is massive, because what it actually means is, instead of charging it here and here, as it degrades, the charging cycles get closer. And as they get closer, you're charging it more often. And as you're charging it more often, it starts dropping off a cliff. So with the new ones, the lifetime is longer.
Wow.
And it also means that in 3 years' time, you're getting more work per charge, so you're more efficient. So unfortunately, the technology is more expensive. It costs more at the front end, but you're going to reap the benefits
in the long term
towards the back end. So the other thing that DEWALT we're also doing is we all want stuff like mobile phones are getting smaller and everything's getting smaller. We want to try and get the same amount of Newton meters energy impact rate out of smaller motors. So these are current models, but the latest model is nearly an inch and a quarter smaller.
That's tiny, isn't it?
Smaller. But it's got the same amount of power. So this is 205 Newton meters versus 205 Newton meters.
Okay.
So it's smaller technology. That is a real plus to some guys, because guys using these for bedroom installs and everything, they want to get into much smaller spaces. So this is that. It's also lighter.
That's even better.
So when you're carrying it on your hip, you're carrying less weight.
That makes a huge difference, that really does.
Makes a huge difference. Also, the more tools we put on a van, we're overloading the van. So if we can get tools that are lighter, it's much more beneficial. As impacts all the way around. So with the new technology as well, we have different size batteries. So this one here is a 2 amp. This one here is technically a 1.7. But in the new technology, it makes it much more compact, it's smaller.
It's tiny, isn't it?
It is tiny, it's lighter. And this is the smallest 18 volt battery in the world made by mainstream manufacturers. So they can't really make it any smaller because the footprint of all the tools, it won't fit.
Yeah.
And the good thing about the new technology is all backwards compatible with all the existing tools. All the existing chargers. So you're not being forced into a new charging system,
new platform tools or anything like that.
What happens is with these is when we're trying to charge these, everything, all the charging here goes through all the batteries, etc., to come out.
Yeah.
And just say we're talking about heat. Whereas these new ones, they're like mobile phone battery pouch cells. They're one stacked on top of another on top of another. And they're all connected directly to here. So once you drain the first one, it's finished. You drain the second one, it's got direct to here. It's not going through every other cell.
Okay.
So the efficiency of getting the power out of the battery means you can deliver more power. There's less resistance. You're not going to lose it in heat. So that is really, in simple layman terms, how the batteries work. In reality, if you put it together, we've got the guys here, we just set up a very simple rig here. And instead of preaching to guys and turning around and telling them this is what it does and hoping they'll believe us, we're literally putting them in their hands. They can try with the old technology and feel. So the tradesman will feel through his hands the resistance and he'll get a sense of the older technology, puts the new technology in, and it's normally, wow, I get it.
Mind if I have a go?
Yeah, sure. So this is old technology. Let's put it's current, but this is not as efficient as this. So put this. So this is an impact driver. We've got it on speed 3. We've got what's called a Torx 40 bit because these have Torx heads, less slip. And all we'll do is we'll find a clean piece of timber. So we've got no knots, so it's a comparison. We'll do the same here, clean piece of timber. So all I'll ask you to do is just steady with a little bit of downward pressure so it doesn't jump out. Do it and you'll feel through your hand and we'll just swap it over and then see what you think.
That itself is actually really light though, isn't it? And that's what itself.
Like.
All the way down?
All the way straight to the bottom. So we're using these because they're an 8mm shank, there's quite a lot of resistance, and these are actually used for screwing structural timbers together in a roof. Okay, they're called panel twist tech screws.
Yeah, there was quite a bit of vibration coming back through the handle on that one.
Because it's really fighting to get it in. So this is a much smaller, you think a bit of less power.
And wow, that's even lighter.
That is really light.
Really light.
Not quite locked in.
It's like night and day difference.
It is. So the whole idea of just a simple piece of wood, which isn't all glamorous, this is a work sort of site thing. It's a situation you're putting them in, and you have just felt the difference between the two. Smaller, same Newton meter, and it's how the new battery platform is delivering it.
Yeah.
Now some guys might go, this is not big enough for me, because I'm doing a really heavily application that's going to drain. So this is your Aston Martin V8, this is your fuel tank.
Yeah.
So do you want to go 200 miles?
Or 400 or 500.
400 or 500.
Yeah.
So this will extend your range. So it increases the weight a little bit, okay? Slightly bulkier, but that means you're going to get more productive time on the job site.
It's not substantial at all, that weight difference.
No, it's not.
Not at all.
So slightly more expensive technology. As you found, it's more efficient, you can work a bit quicker, you're getting more production per battery charge. It's all about earning the money, isn't it?
It is. It's all about that.
There you go.
That's a fantastic tool, I have to admit.
Makes you look like a pro now, doesn't it?
Yeah. Thank you very much.
That's all right. Thanks for your time.
Thank
Nice
you.
to see you. Thank you very much.